The Air Jordan 1 Crimson Tints are dropping tomorrow, April the 1st. But which pair are dropping? Some people say it's the black base Crimson Tint highs, and some people say it's the white base Crimson Tint mids. Which of the two is it? Find out in today's video. As I said, the introduction today is all about that Crimson Tint Air Jordan 1s, and some people say it's the high black base, some people say it's the mid white base that's dropping, and there are two different variants, two different variations out there, two different ones that people are looking at and saying this one or that one, and I'm going to hang my hat on this one right here, the white base Crimson Tint mids, which is maybe a bit surprising to some people because of course highs have a lot more hype behind them, but I think what's upcoming and what's going to be dropping tomorrow, if you're watching this content today being March the 31st, but if you're not watching this on March the 31st, they're not going to drop tomorrow, they've dropped already. But anyway, I'm going to hang my hat on the ones that are white and their mids dropping on April the 1st. I might be wrong. If you think differently from me, drop a comment down below. If you know differently and this has already dropped and you want to laugh at me because I got it wrong, drop a comment down below and laugh at me all you like. I don't mind at all. Sometimes I make mistakes and I guess wrong, and that might be the case here. But what I will do is I will review for you today those Crimson Tint mids from the Air Jordan 1 line, which is interesting because, as I said on my Friday video, I have never ever worn a pair of Jordans in my life, and there's a long list of reasons for that, and there's a big explanation for it, and I did explain it in the video on Friday. So if you're interested in why I've never worn a pair of Jordans in my life, check that video out. It also explains about how you, the viewer, can help me get Jordans in hand and the next step in that progress as I do start to build my Jordan collection and get Jordans in hand and on foot for the very first time. And it's interesting that I get to review a Jordan 1 in, so quickly after making that statement and making that video about never owning Jordans in my life, that here I am reviewing Jordan 1's Crimson Tint. Okay, I want to break this into two parts, and the first thing is I want to talk about the trends that these Crimson Tints are continuing, and there's three trends that I'm really interested in looking at. And the first one is if you look at the neutral greys, which dropped in January, and the kind of quality of especially the overlays on there, that nubuck material, that kind of roughed up leather a little bit. So it's not tumbled leather I'm talking about, it's just a sort of semi-roughed up sort of material, and that is a continuation. You can see the pink elements of the overlays on these Crimson Tints definitely mimics those neutral greys that dropped earlier in the year, but also the turbo greens as well. That's the second thing that I want to call out on, is these hot colors in the neutral greys and the turbo greens. You have these hot sort of greens and hot oranges, and what I mean by that is this real pop-in color. The actual upper itself, and this is particularly the overlays on these sneakers, they were very kind of subtle colors. It was an off blue and an off green and an off pink or orange on the sneakers, but then what they would do is that they'd have these hot colors in there. I remember on the neutral greys, actually it was up around the ankle, and the inner the lining on the inside was this hot kind of pop and orange color on there. And so you have that hot color in there, which is continued again in today's sneaker. But what isn't continued when you think of the neutral greys and the turbo greens is that print on the midfoot. Both of them had the print on the midfoot where there was the writing, a little sentence about Jordans on the side there, which is not on the upcoming release of these Crimson Tints. So looking at that hot color that we're talking about, in the case of these Crimson Tints, now tint to me is like a hint of a color, but the hot colors aren't a hint at all. They're just a slap in the face with a wet fish, if you ask me. And there are three particular places where the hot color comes into view on these upcoming Crimson Tints. The first place is on that black tongue. You've got a very hot pink Jumpman with the word Air below it. I think this is going to be very, very divisive. I think people are going to look at that and be like, whoa, either say Nike Air or have a Jumpman, but don't have Jumpman Air. I think that's kind of putting your Jumpman feet in two different camps. You need to go one way or the other. And I'm not all that sure people are going to like that hot pink Jumpman plus the word Air, but not Nike Air on that black tongue there. But the color is definitely that hot pink, and it is matching of those laces on there. And this is what I don't particularly like. I'm not sure where the design bit comes from. I'm not sure what the thinking is behind it, but the hot pink of that Jumpman and the word Air and the laces doesn't complement the sort of subtle tint of the pink in the panels and the overlays. I think they're meant to work together. They're supposed to bring each other out, but I think the hot pink overrides the subtle pink of the overlays, and I don't actually think it's the right colour for that Jumpman, the Word Air, or for the laces. The laces will be swap outable, if that's a word. I'm sure they'll come with 2 or 3 different laces. Black will be definitely, I'm sure, a pair that you can have in there. You can just swap out the pink laces for the black ones, and that'll take care of that. But just choosing that hot colour, I don't think it goes well with the subtle colours of the upper, which is the same for the outsole. If you flip these guys upside down, again, bang, it's that hot pink outsole, hot pink colour, which I don't know. I mean, either make a hot pink sneaker or make a sort of subtle kind of crimson tint sneaker, but it's almost like 2 different sneakers are rolled into one here with that sort of hot colour in opposition of that tint, and I don't think it works, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of it, to be honest. And the last thing I want to have a real close-up look at is the swoosh. It is a black swoosh on the side there, but having a real close-up look at the screenshot here, you can see I don't think it appears to be leather, which is really unusual, unless this picture that I'm looking at here and the research that I've done. As you know, I researched my videos quite thoroughly, and unless the research I've done is wrong, but this black swoosh here does not look like it's made of leather. Please, please, please hit me up with a comment down below and let me know whether it is leather or not, and if it's not leather, what it is actually made of. But that's the last thing I want to talk about on these sneakers for today's review. Bringing you Air Jordans is really interesting for me now. As I said, I have never owned or worn a pair of Jordans, so it's really interesting to review them, especially from the perspective that one day I will be getting very soon my first ever pair of Jordans. It's going to be really exciting, and I'm looking forward to recording that for you out there. Please let me know where you think I should start my Jordan journey, whether I should start with the low stuff and build high, or start with the high stuff and build low. Let me know what you think I should do for those Jordan, and check out that video and understand why it is that I've never worn Jordans. For now, I'm going to sign off and say thanks for checking out my content. I appreciate it. Every single day I'm here bringing you sneaker content, sneaker videos, and I'll be here again tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to be showing you tomorrow, but I'm sure it'll be interesting and exciting, and I'm sure you will check it out, because I will definitely see you tomorrow.